My next guest is the author of a book called Thriving Leaders, Thriving Teams. Stop languishing and start flourishing. She is wellbeing expert Lauren Parsons. Kia ora, good morning.
Kia ora, Andrew.
Nice to have you on the program today. And on the topic of leadership, starting with some basic principles really today about
hmm
how we, if we're going to lead a team of people, if we're going to look after a group of people in a workplace, we need to make sure that we're looking after ourselves as well, not in a selfish way, but showing some leadership in our own life and habits and discipline, etc. Right?
Yes, absolutely. And actually, even broader than that, Andrew, I believe that every single person is a leader. Whether you have a leadership title or specific role or not, you're a leader. You're the leader of your own life. The way you show up matters. You have the opportunity to influence others, whether that's in your household, in your community, in your church, and in your workplace. And yes, I work a lot with leaders in workplaces, but I think everything comes down to self-leadership
Yeah.
first and foremost. And that relies on our habits.
That is so important, and honestly, we've probably can all think of circumstances where uh, we've been in a workplace situation where the person that we were reporting to didn't have a lot of self discipline and self leadership, and
Mm.
that can be a very chaotic situation. But if we reverse that as well, if as individuals, if we take care of the way in which we are leading our own lives, then that develops good principles, not just for our own life, but potentially for leadership positions should they become available. It puts us in a good frame of mind.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think everything in life, it comes down to our daily habits.
Hmm.
I've just been over speaking at a conference in Adelaide, and we were talking about having a daily non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So regardless of what's going on in your day, whatever the stresses are, whatever the challenges and the to-do lists might be overflowing, having something that either grounds you and makes you feel really calm and centered, or something that brings you joy and lifts you up, whether that's getting outdoors for a walk around the block for 5 minutes, or sitting having your favorite cuppa, making a ritual of it, spending time with your fur babies, or
Yeah.
just spending time just sitting with your babies or your partner
Yeah.
and just connecting heart to heart. So ideally finding something that's quite a small, something you can fit into your day easily. But like I have this idea of snacking on exercise, which I
Yeah.
did my TED talk on. So just could you get out and just go for that 2 minute walk or sit in the sun for 2 minutes? If there's something you can do daily that grounds you, regardless of what else is going on, it gives you the sense of control and
Mm.
this real centering.
And I suppose some structure as well. That instead of going, oh gosh, I wonder what's going to happen today, every morning when you wake up, you've got a sense of dread and panic. No, there's some things that
Mhm.
you can control, and there's some things which you say, I love the term non negotiable. Regardless of
Yes.
what else happens today, these things will happen. These are things that I value and may include spiritual values as well, may include saying, hey, I'm going to make sure that I spend some time in prayer or in a devotional
Mhm.
as part of my day because that's how I start my day right.
Yes, and I like where you mentioned the start of your day because again, if you can start your day with that routine, it's you switch the alarm off, you turn on Let Go 365 or
Yeah.
whatever your devotion is. For me, that's a great start to the day. Just having a stretch, focusing on breathing. I'm actually a bit greedy because I have three non-negotiables. I start the day with my morning stretch and something uplifting to listen to.
Yeah.
I aim to have a 4 second hug with each of my loved
Oh,
ones
nice.
every day because we
Yeah.
know that builds oxytocin, that love and connection hormone.
Yeah.
And I aim to get out for a walk or run every day. If I can't do my normal 20-minute loop, then at least I'll walk down to the end of the driveway and visit the cows.
Yeah.
So it's just having that as a non-negotiable. And I'd say I probably hit those three things 90 to 95% of the time.
Yeah, that's good. And again, it's not a rule to beat yourself up with. It's not like, oh
Yes.
gosh, one of my kids was away on camp, I didn't get to hug them in my life. No, that actually there needs to be some flexibility even amongst the structure and routine.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Because if we have rigid rules and then we break them, we start getting into the mentality of, oh no, well, I might as well, oh gosh, I've eaten something that's not so healthy right now. I might as well throw everything out the window for the rest of the day rather than thinking, what is, having a permissive attitude, thinking, what small thing can I do to help get me back on track? And we know with habits and habit change that the more we reinforce those habits, the more they become a part of the routine.
Mm.
Our brain is actually rewired. We have this neuroplasticity in the brain that allows us to adopt new habits. And once we've stuck to them for a little while, it actually becomes second nature. That's how we're wired.
And getting into that routine, hey, there may be some false starts. There may be some, hey, well, this is what I wanted to do, but that's not working out.
Mhm.
And I also love the fact that it's not saying, hey, let's stack my day with a series of non-negotiables. Let's weld these things in so there isn't the flexibility and flow to adapt with some of the unexpected things that come your way. Limiting the non-negotiables and going with the flow some of the times. I suppose that's a part of the self-management art.
Yeah, I think it's not going to have too many of them. I talk about this analogy of a roller coaster. Life's a bit like a roller coaster. It has ups and downs.
Yeah.
But if you're like me, the first thing you do is you sit down and you lock your safety harness into place. And if
Yeah.
you're like me, you check it to make sure it's really locked in, right?
Give it a wobble.
And the
Yeah.
only thing that allows you to enjoy all the ups and downs and all the woohoo along the way is that your safety harness is locked into place. So think of that as your daily non-negotiable, even just one thing each day. If you can lock that in, that no matter what else happens in your day, if that is locked in and it is your go-to habit, it will be like your grounding to help you manage and cope through all the ups and downs ahead.
This is something which strikes me as being probably quite individual to each person, because
Mhm.
honestly, there's probably a list of 50 different things that I should be doing with my life, particularly if you go and read self-help books and hey, here's 50 areas that I need to change right now if I want
Yeah.
to thrive. Well, that's
Mhm.
just that's not going to lead anywhere positive, really. How do we
Mhm.
decide what's in and what's out for our non-negotiables? How do we wean that down to something which is manageable? What sort of process would you recommend?
Yeah, I think go with your gut feel. When I talk to audiences, I often talk about a range of different things, whether it's mindset, nutrition, movement, rest. So the best person to come up with what will work for you is actually you. So to
Yeah.
everyone listening in, if there's something you think, oh yeah, I've been meaning to do this, and I think we should take the word should out of our vocabulary if we can.
Yes.
I talk about the knowledge action gap. Sometimes there are things we know we could do, perhaps should do, and then there's what we actually do day to day.
Yeah.
So just think, what is one small thing you could take an action on and close the knowledge action gap rather than thinking, oh, I should get out and exercise. Just get out and go for a 1 minute walk. Just get outdoors and, do some knee lifts or do some squat reaches. Just find something that's super easy to do. Don't go out and try and tackle 50 things at once. Just
Mm.
think, what is one step I could take this week? Give that a go and build that as a habit. And then once that's in place, then maybe think about what could be step number two.
Get one plate spinning first before you smash the
Yes,
entire dinner set in that regard.
yes,
And the importance, I
love it.
suppose, of building those habits. And I know for some people, particularly during the Lenten season, this is as good an opportunity as any. Today, of course, it's New Year's Eve for accountants, so perhaps for the new financial year, we could
Yes.
make some new habits, some new non-negotiables for our life going forward.
Yeah, and a bit like New Year's resolutions, which we know don't always work, the key is making them very small and very specific. So again, what's one daily non-negotiable? Just try that experiment for the next week, see how it goes. And if it
Mm.
doesn't quite work, experiment with something new, but find your thing.
Yeah, no, such wonderful wisdom and advice. And I thoroughly would recommend actually Thriving Leaders, Thriving Teams. Lots more good stuff in there as well. And you can find out more at laurenparsonswellbeing.com. Lauren, thank you for what you do. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.